Hey guys, so I'm going to show you another tutorial today which is similar to my last one that I did, which is about video textures, but I'm going to show you how to actually interact with your video textures to actually make it more dynamic in games and things like that. One of the first ones I'm going to show you is actually activating it via a collider, because I remember something like this in, I think it was the standalone Slenderman game, where you walked into a room, a TV came on with some footage, and then you sort of teleported into a different scene. And I'll show you how to do this. It's quite simple. So I've got everything like my last tutorial. I've got my screen here. So what I'm going to do is, it's got no collider on it at the minute because I took it off. But if we go to Component, Physics, and then add Box Collider, what we can do is actually change its size. So we can change its actual X size, X position, and then we can change its position by bringing this collider out, and you can see it here. What we want to do is change it to is trigger. So now this collider here is actually going to be our trigger that if we walk into it will activate the actual movie. So if I open up our old script, which was play movie, you can see it here. We want to do something new this time, so we don't need the function start anymore. We can write a new function, so we can write function on trigger enter, and then we can write other collider, and then if we add the curly brackets in, so we can add if other dot tag is equal to player, then we can add two more curly brackets. Then as we had before, I'll just copy these lines, we can do this. So I will delete my function start now because we don't need it. So only when we enter the collider, and if our FPS controller, which is if it is tagged player, it'll play the texture and it'll loop it. So we can save this. And now if we go on the screen, you'll see that it's on, and what we can do is that nothing works until we actually walk into the collider. And when we went into that collider, you saw it started. But something else we can do is, like I said in the Slenderman game, what actually happened, what we can do is we can actually yield. So I've done this before, yield, wait for seconds, and then we'll wait for say 3 seconds. You can wait for the duration of your actual video, but then we're going to write application.load level, and then we can go into what level you want to go in. So we can have new scene or something like that, and we'll take the loop out because you don't need it if you're not after it. And then what we'll do, it'll play the movie, wait for 3 seconds, and then load a new scene. Now mine will never go to new scene because I don't have one called new scene, but if you created a new scene and go on to file, build settings, and just add it in there, once you wait that 3 seconds you'll actually go to a new scene, but we don't need that for now. Another thing that we can do is actually doing this on a button press. So say we're, something like you were watching your TV and you wanted to do an actual TV screen or something for flicking buttons, we can go in our function update. If we had 2 curly brackets, we can go if input dot get key down, open your brackets, key code dot e, 2 brackets at the end, add our curly brackets, and then we'll just add those 2 lines there. So if we go into the collider, it'll do this. If we press E, it will actually start. And what we can actually do is save that, and I'll show you. When we press play, we can press E, and we get it playing. But say you want to actually, as I said, do it like a TV, you want it to play, and then you want to have a different pause button. Underneath in your update you can write if. We'll just copy this line again because we're going to do the same thing really. we'll take that out. If input.getKey, we'll put Q. Then we want to do 2 curly brackets, and inside there we can do move text dot pause. You can do dot stop or anything like that, but if I play this, you'll notice that E starts it. Now if I press Q, it pauses it, E to start it again, Q to pause it, and vice versa. And make sure when you're on your script you write loop if you want it to carry on looping once it's finished. That's pretty much it for the basics, and you can do this and you can modify this in ways that you want to do it for your game, but for the sake of interacting with your video texture, those are just a couple of ways where you can quite easily interact with it. So that's pretty much it. If you like the tutorial, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks very much. Cheers.